For the past few days, I've been thinking about the lessons I've learned over the course of my life, and how different everything would have been if, at 30, I had possessed the wisdom I now carry at 82. So listen to the voice of someone who has already crossed the storm. I'm going to tell you 5 things that would have changed everything if I had understood them when I was your age. Imagine time as a circular road, and right now, in this exact moment, I am placing my hand on your shoulder. I am you, but I am you after the sun has set countless times, after the body has grown tired of fighting, and after silence has become my closest companion. I know exactly how you feel at 30. I can sense the pulse of your anxiety from here. It's as if you wake up already owing something to the world, as if life were an obstacle course where the finish line moves 10 meters forward every time you get close. You're exhausted, aren't you? But you won't admit it. You call it ambition, focus, building a future. But look at me. Look at the lines on my face. If I could whisper just one truth into the ear of the young man I once was, the version of me who believed the world was something to conquer, I wouldn't tell him to work harder. I would say, stop running from yourself. You're running toward success, but the truth is, you're running from fear. And I don't blame you. I carried that same visceral terror of being nobody, of lacking social validation, of failing in the eyes of people who don't even care about us. I'm recording this now because my time is running out, and yours is only halfway through. And if tomorrow never came for you, what would remain of everything you call life? I don't want you to reach 82 with a heart full of trophies and a soul empty of memories. That's why I'm going to tell you the 5 things that would have changed everything if I'd understood them at your age. The first thing I would tell you, my young friend, is that the fear you feel today is an illusion fed by the future. You fear losing your job, not getting promoted, never owning the ideal home. But that fear is a liar. It convinces you that happiness is something you're only allowed to feel once you get there. Fear exiles us from ourselves, and that's exactly what I did. I exiled myself. I created a successful character, and fed it with my time, my health, and my peace. I thought fear was a compass, but it was a blindfold. It kept me from seeing that the security I chased through having was actually the greatest insecurity of all. The only real safety is knowing who you are when the lights go out and the noise of the world falls silent. Don't let the fear of being nobody stop you from being yourself. The second truth hurts more than the others. Your absence cannot be compensated with money. I know you say you're working 12 hours a day for them, for your family, for your children's future. But let me tell you a secret old age revealed to me. Your children don't want a perfect future. They want a present father now. I kissed my wife while thinking about cost spreadsheets. I sat through school performances with my phone vibrating in my pocket, anxious for it to end so I could get back to what mattered. What tragic irony. I was stealing the present from the people I loved most to give them a tomorrow they never asked for. Time has textures. The time of affection is eternal. The time of the market is disposable. Don't become a stranger at your own dinner table. The third thing you must understand is that the most important things in life are perfectly useless. I know you feel a corrosive guilt whenever you're not being productive. You believe every minute must produce a result, another step on your invisible ladder. But listen carefully, the soul is not nourished by productivity. It is nourished by presence. I spent decades ignoring the scent of flowers drifting through my office window because I was too busy chasing targets. I watched spring after spring blur into gray lines on an Excel sheet. I learned that when we lose the ability to contemplate what is useless, we lose our humanity. So hear me now, have the courage to watch a sunset until the very last ray disappears, without needing to record it for the world. Have long conversations where no one is trying to convince anyone of anything. These so-called wastes of time are, in truth, the only moments you ever truly own. The fourth truth is about the bridges you're failing to cross. At 30, you call people contacts, networking, pieces in your game of social ascent. But let me tell you about the mirror that was my cousin's funeral. He was a brilliant executive, a multi-millionaire businessman who never took vacations and always postponed his freedom. At his funeral, what I didn't see were his achievements. I saw flower wreaths sent by companies, flowers that would wither in 2 days. What was left of him? An awkward silence between children who barely knew their own father. He built a monument of pride, but forgot to plant the garden of belonging. Don't wait for time to teach you that your friends drifted away because you never had time. Until one day they simply stopped asking. Nurture your bonds now. Companies will replace you in a week. Your place in the hearts of those who love you is the only space that accepts no substitutes. And finally, the fifth and most urgent lesson. Finitude is not a death sentence. It is a compass. You live as if you have an infinite supply of tomorrows in your pocket. You postpone the "I love you." You swallowed a "forgive me." You wait for the perfect moment to be happy. But the perfect moment is a fiction, a trick your mind uses to keep you enslaved to a future that may never arrive. Accepting that you will die, accepting that at 2 a.m. your projected future, is what gives you permission to stop being a hostage to your ambitions. When you understand that the clock runs for everyone, you stop carrying stones that are far too heavy for a building with no soul. Start living now, not next year, not after the next project. Life is what grows in the cracks you try to seal with goals and results. Right now, sitting among the ruins of who I thought I needed to be, I look at you and see my greatest mistake, believing that a wall of achievements would protect me from life. I spent 5 decades building the wrong wall. I look at my hands and see the holes I left in my own story. I see the moments when I was physically present, but my soul was exiled in another meeting. Change begins with self-forgiveness, and that's what I seek every day at 82. I forgive myself for being a stranger in my own home. I forgive myself for believing in the lie of the endless ladder. But I don't want you to need forgiveness 50 years from now. I want you to wake up today. Awakening doesn't happen when we reach the top. It happens when we realize the top doesn't exist. If tomorrow never came, what would remain of you if we stripped away your title? If the answer is an uncomfortable silence, then change course now. Plant your garden. Time is the fairest master there is. It gives all of us the same number of seconds, but it only grants wisdom to those brave enough to look toward the end. I don't have much time left, but the last 21 years have been the richest of my life, not because I earn more, but because I finally began to live with intention. What shines in my memory now isn't the promotions, it's the smell of coffee on a Sunday morning and the feel of my wife's hand when things were hard. If what I've shared resonates with you, decide today that being matters far more than having. So I ask you now, if everything ended tomorrow, what lessons would you